Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Praveen. Today we will talk about Power Platform CLI. In the last video, we talked about the various apps and tools that are available for the Power Platform ALM for managing application lifecycle management. So one important tool for managing ALM for the Power Platform is CLI. With CLI, we can manage the database environment, we can manage the Power Pages, we can manage the solution packages, we can manage the code components, we can use the Power Platform CLI inside the Power Platform Build Tools version 2.0. All this can be done via the Power Platform CLI. Basically, Power Platform CLI is a simple one-stop developer CLI that empowers developers to perform various operations in the Microsoft Power Platform environment. So it can work related to the environments, it can work related to the database environment, solution packages, components, Power Pages, and other things. Power Platform CLI is a cross-platform. It works in Windows 10, 11, Linux, and Mac OS. You can find the installation steps for the Microsoft Power Platform CLI over here. You can use it inside the Visual Studio Code, or you can download it as a package. The reference links are available here. Just copy and paste it in the browser and follow the steps to get installed. So in this demo today, we'll be talking about how to export and import the solution packages from one environment to other environment. So the command used over here is pack solution, export and import, right? So with respect to the solution, with the Power Platform CLI can manage several things. Other than export and import, it can check the solution, right? It can check the solution against the Power Apps checker service, and it can clone the solution, and it can delete the solution, and it can list all the solutions, right? And it can pack the solution and can publish the solution. It can unpack and it can sync the solution. It can upgrade the solution. It can list what are the versions available for the solution, right? Today we will talk about one scenario, like how to export and import the solutions from one environment to other environment using the CLI. So consider you have two environment. One is a dev environment and another one is test environment. So in the dev environment, you have a solution called test1 that is an unmanaged solution. So all the developments will be done in the development environment inside the solution test1. So in the test1, we have several components like flows or Power Apps or chatbots or custom connectors, or, variables, environment variables, right? Entities, etc. So if you want to export the test1 to the test environment, so we need to use the commands export, pack export, right? Over here, pack solution export, and then the parameters. And if you want to import that exported file to the test environment, then we need to use the command pack solution import, the path where the file is exported in the local path, and publish the changes, right? This is the command that should be used, right? So in order to import the solution to other environments, Microsoft recommend to import it as a managed solution, right? So only the development environment should contain the unmanaged solutions. Remaining all the other environments should contain the managed solutions, right? So let's see what are the commands that will be used to export the solution. First, we need to create authentication, right? So we need to write the command pack auth create --- URL. So this --- URL will be available in the session details of the Power App portal. You can get the session details and paste the URL over here, pack create --- URL. So you can see it over here. So first we need to create and store the authentication profiles of that. The first step is to create the contacts for that particular environment. So here I created the contacts for the particular environment using pack auth create -URL and getting the URL from the session details. So this is the instance URL. So get the instance URL from the session details, right? Paste it over here. It will ask you the username and password. right? So just provide the username and password and create the connection. There are other methods available for creating the connection. We can use the application ID secret, or we can use the client secret and certificate, right? Just check the documentation before you create what kind of authentication you want to create, right? For this demo, I just use the browser, right, for entering my credentials and create the contacts. So once the authentication is created, we are creating and storing the authentication profiles on our computer, right? So next step is to list and select the authentication profiles, right? So we have created one authentication, right, for the source environment. So we need to list that pack auth list, right? It will list the what are the authentication profiles that were created in our computer. Currently, I created one with this command, so that's why it's showing as one. In order to select that particular contact's authentication profile, we need to use the command packauth select -- index one. So if we use this packauth select -- index one, then the contacts will be for that particular. Then we are using the authentication profile for the source environment, right? So now the profile is set. We are ready to export the solution. So in order to export the solution, you need to type pack solution export. What is the path that you need to store that solution? The path of the local path, and then we need to provide the name of the solution and managed. You need to export that solution as a managed. You can export it as a manager or unmanaged. Just use the true or false, and include what are the customizations on generals. So you can use the optional parameters. The required parameter is name and the path. So optional parameters is -- include is the settings that needs to be included in the solution during export. The settings can be these many. Right, we can export the general settings, we can export the customization settings, or the other settings, right? I will include the link in the description, so you can just go to the official documentation and check what are the other optional parameters that are available, right? The solution will be exported in the local path. So this is the folder that is exported in the local path. All the solution components will be exported, right, in the folder as a zip file. So if you open the zip file, this will be the contents. Like we have the customization XML, solution XML, content types XML, web resources, canvas apps. And if you exported the Power Automate, we'll be having connectors, workflows, and if you have environment variables, you have the environment variables folder and other things. We have exported the solution to the local path. Now the next step is to import that solution, right? So we have a zip file, exported zip file, and we need to import that zip file to the test environment or the other environments. In order to import the solution package to the destination, we need to type the command pack solution import and the path of the zip file. There are some optional parameters other than the path. The first is -activate -flows. This command will turn on the workflow specified in the deployment settings file using a specified user, right? And then the other commands are activate plugins to activate the plugins and workflows on the solution. And we have async -async, which will import the solution asynchronously. And then we have a parameter -- convert to manage. This will convert the solution to manage if the exported solution is unmanaged. Then we have a -force -override to override the customizations, like force and override of unmanaged customizations. And we have a asynchronous wait time in minutes. Default value of the wait time is 60 minutes. And we have the path of the solution zip file. If the path is not specified, then it assumes that current folder of the CDS project. Then we have -- publish changes. We'll be publishing our changes upon a successful import. Then -- settings file. So this will be the deployment settings for connection references and environment variables, etc. Right? With this, we can import the solution. So if we type that pack pack solution import --- path and then optional parameters. This will get the files from the local file, and it will import the solution to the environment. So it will connect to the destination environment, and then it will start importing the solution to the destination environment. Before importing this solution, we need to create the connection profile for the destination environment. Right. In the step 1, we created the connection profile for source environment. Before importing, we need to do the same step for the destination environment. We need to change the environment. We need to change the destination environment and get the property of instance URL from the destination environment, and we need to create the connection authentication profile for the destination environment and select that authentication profile, like in the step 2. Then we need to export. Then we need to import that exported solution using the pack import, right? With the pack solution import, we have an optional parameter called --settings file. So this will let us include the deployment settings files. Now the connection references and environment variables, we can specify those values inside the deployment files.json, and we'll be using that during the import. The connection references and environment variables enables us to interactively specify the connection details and configuration settings specific to the target environment whenever our app or the solution is deployed. After importing a solution containing the connection reference and environment variable information, we will be prompted to provide information specific to our environment in the UI. However, if you want to make this deployment as an automated one, like in setting up the continuous CI/CD pipelines or using this CLI, we need to fully automate that step, right? So in order to do that, we can now pre-populate the connection reference and environment variable instead of specifying that in the UI interactively. We can pre-populate the connection reference and environment variable information specific to the target environment, so we don't have to provide that after importing the solution interactively, right? So in order to avoid those things, we'll be using the sample deployment settings settings.json file, right? So this deployment settings file is to store the information of connection reference and environment variable and pass it as a parameter while importing the solution to the environments, right? So this is the sample deployment settings file. We have an array of environment variables, and we have an array object of connection references. So in this sample, I have one environment variable and one custom connector connections. Microsoft recommends to create a custom connectors in the destination environment before you import the solutions in order to avoid any issues. So once you created the custom connector, you need to get the connection ID from the custom connector, and you need to update it in the deployment settings before you are importing the solutions. There are two ways to create this deployment settings file. One way is to create it using the CLI command itself. So once you exported the solution, we can type pack solution create -settings -solution -zip, the zip file of that exported solution, then the -settings file name. So this will generate loop through all the exported contents of the zip file, and it will generate the JSON file. However, there will be few values that are empty in the connection references sections, and these values will be gathered after creating them in the target environment. Let's quickly see a demo how to export and import the solution using the CLI. So for the first step is we need to create the authentication profile. So I just created the authentication profile using the pack auth create -URL, then the instance URL of the demo environment. So once the authentication profile is created, we need to select the authentication profile. Since I already deployed the solutions for testing purposes, I created two profiles, one for the dev environment and another one is for the test environment. So index 1 is for dev and index 2 is for test. Let me select the index 1 and export the solution first. So I just created the context for the index 1. So once we are inside the index 1, we can export the solution using this command, pack solution export. So this is the solution file is already there. So if you want to overwrite it, then we can type -overwrite -ow. If the solution file is already exported, then if you want to overwrite the existing solution, then you need to type -overwrite -overwrite, or the short form is -ow. So this is now starting to export the solution, and now the solution has been exported. Now we need to import the solution. Before that, we need to select the auth profile for the destination environment. If you haven't created the auth profile for the destination environment, use the pack auth create and use the instance URL of destination environment, and then use this command for selecting the respective environment. So once we are inside that destination environment, we need to import the solution. So we need to import the exported solution, right? And we need to import it to the destination. So right now I'm deploying the Power Apps and then web resources inside the solution to the destination environment using the pack solution import. So once we enter this command, this will deploy all the solution components from the exported package file, and it's deploying to the test environment. So the solution importing has stopped. The operation is asynchronous. So it will complete once this operation gets completed. The import solution asynchronous operation gets completed. So once it is completed, the solution has been successfully pushed to the destination environment. Now let's go to the environment, Power Apps or Power Automate environment. And if we go to click on the solutions, then we'll be seeing that new solution has been created. So the solution we try to import is PL demo client side script. And if you look at the last modified time, it's few minutes ago, right? So all the resources, if you look on the left side, so we have one app, like we have a Power Apps that has been deployed. And we have a 4 web resources as a part of that client side scripting. We created some resources that also been deployed over here. This is how we'll be using the export and import command for the CLI, and we'll be deploying the applications in the Power Platform. That ends our demo. These are some of the common commands that have been used in PowerPlatform CLI. So we have so many commands, like for creating the auth, we use pack auth, and for working with Canvas apps, we use pack canvas, and working with organizations like different environments, we use org and packaging, and we are working with Power Apps pages, we'll be using pack PA portal. Like these are the commands that are used for downloading and listing and uploading the Power Up pages, right? And the most important thing is we have the CI/CD pipelines, right, for automating the build, set up in the Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions, right? So those actions are using the Power Platform CLI. The Power Platform build tools version 2 is CLI based. Version 1 is a fossil based, but version 2, the recent one, is a CLI based. Going forward, Power Platform Build 2 version 2.0 is the version that will be serviced and new features will be added to the version 2. For the previous versions of the Power Platform Build tools like V1, Microsoft will do the critical security updates as needed, but for all the latest new features will be added to the V2. And Microsoft recommends the customers to move to the Power Platform Build Tools version 2 based on Power Platform CLI at the earliest. If you set up the CI/CD pipelines using the version 1, you cannot mix and match the task versions of both versions. Like you cannot mix match version 1 and version 2. If you are using version 1, then you need to use the version 1. Else you need to remove those version 1 tasks and you need to update to the and you need to create the version 2 task. The main reason why Microsoft is moving towards Power Platform CLI is the Power Platform CLI build tools are multi-platform and it works. It offers flexibility towards running on the Linux runners. Okay, right. With that, we came to the end of our session. So far, we have seen what is Power Platform CLI, how it is helping to developers as a one-step solution for managing the ALM for Power Platform, and what are the common commands that are available for the Power Platform CLI to manage the Power Platform environment. And we are seeing a demo and then overview of how to export and import the solution using the Power Platform CLI. And we have seen the commands for the Power Platform CLI for the Power Pages and how the Power Platform build tools are based on Power Platform CLI and some of the important nodes for the Power Platform build tools 2.0. Hope you liked the video. Catch you in the next video. Thank you.